Hi, and I'm photography. Today, as you know, I'm away on a course, so I thought I would record this for you to help you do the cover work. So I've called today's lesson Action, Detail and Reaction, although actually really that refers more to what we've already done in class, where we were making photographs in a series um, that we intended to use as pairs, groups and triptychs for context. So that's about creating a sense of meaning, I suppose, through the juxtaposition or putting together of particular images. So I've said here, the way we bring images together helps build a narrative. Obviously, you know a narrative is story, and we can follow a theme or story by juxtaposing action, detail, and reaction, as if they're kind of like one image. So although we might have multiple images, maybe paired images, which is obviously two images, or a triptych, which means three images together, we can use those different elements of action, detail, and reaction to create that sense of story, to build the narrative. The examples we've used already in class have come from our key artist sources. So we've looked at Bill Wadman, we've looked at Tim Booth, the photographer, famous for photographing hands. And we've also looked at Victor's song. Now, though these images are actually made by totally different photographers, they're made at totally different times in completely different places, we can still actually put them together to still create that sense of story. Um, it can show us, in this case, something meaningful about dance and the dancer. Um, and it's just a coincidence, obviously, that Tim Booth did photograph the hands of a ballerina. And obviously, Bill works with dancers all the time for his work in New York, but particularly in his Dancers in Motion series, we can see those beautiful movement images where he's used lots of drag and blur. And then the last one in this triptych is by Victor Song. And that's very particular to the shutter drag stuff we've been doing in class, where we were doing two bursts of light within one frame. You should all by now have written this up in your sketchbooks. So you should have some evidence in your annotations of writing about shutter drag and about blur. Um, but today what I want you to do is I'm going to give you paper resources as just printed out sheets, and you're going to create triptychs from them. So that's three images together that create a story. Now, with each set of images you produce, you're going to write the narrative the photographs create. I want you to see how many stories you can write based on the visual outcomes. There's no set story to create. So you've got complete artistic authority to be imaginative. So basically what I want you to do today is take images and either stack them vertically, but more likely put them horizontally as a group of three to create that strong sense of story. We are used to reading left to right in English, so it makes sense actually that we kind of follow through a story that reads in that direction. Although I do know that some of you like the idea of stacks, um, and then that's up to you. Most English readers will read from top to bottom. Um, but so you're going to build a story through three images at once. These are the images I've given you. They're just stock images I've taken from the internet. Um, I'm not telling you which ones to use. I'm not telling you which order necessarily to put them in. But thinking back to the example I showed you earlier, where we had the Bill Wadman, the Tim Booth, and the Victor Song images all together, you might like to think again about this idea of having an action image, for example, the people walking, a detail image, which could be something like the phone, and then a reaction image, which could be even the bite out the cupcake or indeed the couple fighting. So I don't mind which way around you put these images. I've got some black and whites as well that you could work to for this as well. They might seem seemingly disconnected, although I think for both you can tell there's a sort of colour theme or a lighting theme. These are obviously all black and white. I want you to see how many stories you can build from putting these images together. So I'm going to look forward to seeing what you produce today. The extension task for Tuesday is that you go back into your book and, as I said, make sure that you have annotated the stuff about shutter drag, and wherever possible, if you've already got some examples of this, you're also going to write a little bit about your paired images that will be going into your frame. So I will be back later this week, and I really look forward to seeing what you produce in the lesson. Don't forget that what you do needs to be stuck down into your book and, of course, written about. I want you to use visual language, words like triptych, paired imagery, narrative, storytelling, and even words like juxtaposition are really, really useful for you in your annotations about this stuff. Anyway, I will see you in the virtual realm for tomorrow's lesson.